I have so many ideas, and you guys can probably tell that I'm really giddy about this. I am so excited. This is something that I have wanted to do forever. I want the year that I turn 30 to be the year that I actually let it go. I have really been doing some soul searching as far as where minimalism fits within our family now that we are in this new place. Well, hey everyone, it's Natalie. So glad you stopped by my channel for today's video. Happy New Year! I am so grateful to have each and every one of you hanging out with me as I share with you some of my goals for this new year. I know a lot of people cringe at the word New Year's resolutions, so that's the only time I will say that phrase in this video. This is more to just share what I've been reflecting on over this last year and the changes that we've experienced, that I've experienced personally, and then that we've experienced as a family with our big move and everything, and then to move forward and to really set myself up for a good intentional year with growth and with peace and joy. And that's what I hope to communicate to you guys. I want this video to be an encouragement, and I don't want it to put pressure on you in any way. I acknowledge that we are all in a different place and we are all in different seasons of life, and I just hope that what I have to share is an encouragement, and that if nothing else, you know that you're not alone in your struggles, because a lot of these goals or aspirations that I have for this new year are actually born out of some of the struggles that I've been experiencing, and I just want you to know you're not alone. So pour yourself a cup of something, because this will probably be a long video. I've got some tea here, and we are going to jump into some of my personal goals, but stay tuned for later. I have a really exciting announcement. I am so excited to share this. That announcement comes with a fun giveaway for those of you who stick around for that. So let's get started. Okay, so personal goals. Many of you probably know this because I'm not shy about it. I'm a Christian, and my relationship with the Lord is the basis for all of these goals or aspirations or plans or whatever that I'm going to talk about in this video. So that's sort of the overarching idea over everything. Of course, I want to serve the Lord with everything that I do. But when it comes to my faith specifically, I've had something laid on my heart. Something that we would love to be more involved in is ministry, like actually serving in the church. So I've been on the worship team. Every 4 to 6 weeks, I'll have a turn on the worship team, and I'll sing or I'll play the piano or, whatever, wherever they need me. And that's all well and good, but that sort of schedule was back when I had young babies. I was breastfeeding, so I couldn't really be away from my baby for too long. So I am now in a position where I can more regularly serve in our church. And that's just so important to me and to our lives as Christians, is just serving the Lord by serving others, whether that's in our church or in our community. And Weston and I have actually been asked to serve in our church's youth, like the middle school through high school age. And that's actually where Weston really shines. We ran our church's youth group. We were the youth directors at a church that we went to before we had kids. And oh my goodness, Weston just comes alive when he's around 6th through 12th graders. He's so good at it. It's really easy to just be lazy about it and to, I'll donate money or whatever, but time is such a valuable commodity, especially time spent with people who need it the most. So I'm really excited to see where that leads us this year. Okay, my next goal, this is totally switching gears, but it's something that's really important to me. And this goal comes with a bit of a trigger warning for those of you who have food, eating, or body image issues. You might want to skip past this part, but if you feel comfortable enough listening to it, I hope that this is encouraging to you, because I have had a struggle with food, and my goal for this year is to heal my relationship with food. Now, I am grateful to be able to say that I do not have like a diagnosed eating disorder. I've never really dealt with that sort of thing. My disordered eating is actually because of my health issues that I've dealt with. So I'm not going to go all into it, but a quick rundown. For the past 7 or 8 years, I have really been struggling with my gut health. I had like a cyclical vomiting syndrome, which I was going through for several years, and it was just awful. And so for years, my brain was being trained to fear food. I am working with a professional, not just on the physical aspect of things like what to eat, but also the emotional and mental aspects of things. And this year, my goal is to really just put in the work and put in the emotional work of healing my relationship with food. And when I'm wanting to heal my relationship with food, it literally has nothing to do with my weight. It has nothing to do with the way that I look. It has everything to do with my day-to-day life as a person who consumes. The mental energy that goes into preparing food and eating food, and just the triggers that I have, that it literally just triggers fear. Everyone is different, like I said, but that's just something that's been a big struggle of mine lately. Now that I've been able to heal the pain, I now need to heal the brain. Here's another personal goal of mine. I'm gonna try to not spend too much time here. I get really chatty. But it is to not care as much. I don't know even how to phrase this, but it's to just not care as much about what people think or how they're going to perceive me. Working a career where I am out in front of a lot of people definitely has its challenges, but I have always been a people pleaser. I've always been one of those people that I live and die by a person's opinion of me. And I remember a lot of the interpersonal issues that I had with friends or other relationships growing up. A lot of the counsel that I was receiving from my parents or from other trusted mentors was, it should not matter this much how a person thinks of you. They're gonna think what they think. You just need to let it go. I remember hearing, just let it go. Stop overthinking it, so many times growing up. And I have learned a lot over the years, but I want the year that I turn 30 to be the year that I actually let it go. It's easy to say, but it's hard to do. And so I definitely want to see some personal growth in that area where I just not care as much. I'm the sort of person that wants to make everyone happy, but I mean, if the last couple of years with our social climate has told us anything, it's that you literally can't please anyone, especially if you have one of those crazy things called an opinion. I'm still looking for this thick skin that all of these YouTubers are talking about. I've been doing this for 8 years and my skin is still paper thin. But I think it's just because of who I am. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, homesteading, minimalism, homeschooling, marriage, baking sourdough bread, there's always gonna be someone who says, you're doing it wrong. And I want this to be an encouragement to you guys. You don't have to live by another person's set of rules in order to achieve what it is that you are pursuing. So if I'm pursuing minimalism, but it doesn't fit into your definition of minimalism, that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm making progress in my life. And that can be applied to, whatever it is that you're pursuing, or whatever your interests are, or whatever it is that you're working on in your life. Just because it doesn't fit someone else's parameters or their arbitrary definition of something doesn't mean that you're somehow failing, although people will try to make you feel that way. But for me, I definitely need to just not care as much. Okay, let's talk about some family homestead goals. I did a Q&A recently where I answered a lot of questions about what we plan to do with this place and everything, but those were more for the rest of our lives, what we plan to do, kind of like this broad idea. But we have some things this year specifically that we would like to accomplish, and I'm going to give you the short version of it because the list has a lot more than just what I'm going to share, but these are kind of like the bigger categories. First of all, the exterior of our house. So we've done a lot of work on the interior already, just in the couple of months that we've been here so far. But when the weather gets better, because I'm literally looking outside at snow in my yard right now. So there's just some things that we simply cannot do right now, but we are so looking forward to the weather getting better and us being able to clear brush. That's a big goal for this year. We have tons of like overgrowth and blackberries and weeds. We just really want to work on like the landscaping. There's a lot of like rotten edging and like boards and stuff that was put as like flower beds in the front, a lot of like rocks and pathways and stuff that are just not what we want, and they are definitely like overgrown. They need to be kind of ripped out and redone, and so we have a lot of that sort of thing to do, along with painting the house, the exterior of the house. We'd really like to do that. Right now it's like this pinky brownish taupe sand color with blue trim. We'd really like to do a lot of the pressure washing and cleaning up that's kind of been neglected, and get like a fresh crisp coat of paint. I will share in a later video like what the design inspiration and everything is for the exterior of the house. I'm actually still gleaning inspiration and working with Weston like on what we want to do, but that is definitely our goal for this year, is to get the outside cleaned up and get it looking really nice and neat. And then outside also, we have a couple of big goals. First of all, to get chickens. We have plans to adopt some chickens in the springtime, and we're gonna build a little coop. It won't be too far from the house, but it won't be right next to the house like the old coop here was. We definitely want it to be more downwind from the house, if you know what I mean. And we really want to give our kids that experience of raising chickens. We're really excited about that. And then we want to do our starter garden. So eventually, I'd love to have a big garden that's like really sustainable, have like tons of varieties. I'd love to have a flower garden someday that's just dedicated to just like cut flowers. But those are the big dreams. So this year specifically, we'd love to do just like a 10 by 16 little patch where we start with just the basics. And I am so excited to have my mom's help with not just the garden, but also the chickens. And she has so much expertise in that because she's run a homestead for over 20 years. Chickens, garden, landscaping, paint, those are sort of the homestead family goals. And then like with all of those things, to bring the kids along and to incorporate those tasks that need to be done into our homeschooling. So have a unit on chickens or gardening, or have them literally out there ripping out weeds and blackberry bushes along with us and stacking firewood and that sort of thing. They already love the stuff that we've done so far, so I think they'll definitely be eager to help with the other things that we're looking forward to as the weather gets better. It's going to be so fun. Another thing for our family that's a goal, and this is a question that I got so much on that Q&A that I didn't actually answer in that Q&A because I kind of wanted to save it for this sort of video. And that is the question of, are you still minimalists, or are you still pursuing minimalism? You went from a smaller home to a bigger home. Can you still call yourself a minimalist if you upsize? I thought minimalists only downsize. That was a comment that I got. I have really been doing some soul searching as far as like where minimalism fits within our family now that we are in this new place. And to be quite honest, it fits now more than ever. I feel like in our old house, when I did all of that decluttering and we got rid of over 85% of our family stuff, and yes, before you ask, we did count. That whole thing, that whole messy to minimal, that first wave of messy to minimal, that was done out of necessity because we were living in about 1,000 square feet and we had way too much stuff. And the acquisition of stuff was addictive. And we had bad habits in place for impulse purchasing. We didn't have those decluttering muscles built for making decisions, the tough decisions of getting rid of things. And so it served its purpose in that house in such a life-changing way that why would I not allow those principles and those things that I learned and the decluttering muscles that I've built affect how we live in this new house, even though this house is literally twice as big as our last house. I got a lot of questions in that Q&A, people asking, how big is your new house? How many square feet? Because I've never told you before. So here you go. The last house we lived in was just barely over 1,000 square feet. I think it was like 1,075 square feet. This home is just over 2,000 square feet. So definitely bigger. Definitely bigger. The size is reflected in the living area, mostly bigger kitchen. We actually have a dining room. We have a spacious living room. The bedrooms aren't much bigger, although the main bedroom definitely has some more square footage with having like a walk-in closet. So the space is bigger. It's bigger in all the right ways, but we actually haven't been given more space for storing things inside our house. So our daily towels, our daily food storage, our daily cleaning supplies, all of that, we pretty much have the same amount of closet space, shelf space that we did in our house that was half this size. So even though there's more square footage to roll around on the floor and walk around and there's more elbow room here, minimalism, simple living principles are still so applicable to this place. And just the fact that all of that decluttering and all of those simple living principles that we learned made it so easy to move. I feel almost indebted to the principles of minimalism. Like I owe it to minimalism to continue down this path, even though it's gonna look a little different in this space than it did in our last house. Our inventory, our collection, what we have in our house, whatever you want to call it, it flexes, it evolves. Like I just bought, and I shared it in a recent vlog, I just bought a whole set of dinnerware because now I have a dining room and I'm gonna have 16 to 20 to 25 people sitting in my home eating dinner, and I didn't have enough plates to host everyone. So I had to go buy a set of dinnerware. I had to buy silverware. I had to buy napkins. So my inventory, it went up. But minimalism, and I've shared this so many times before, minimalism is not a list of do's and don'ts. Minimalism is not a set, you have to have this many forks and this many household towels and this many children. It is a guiding principle to help you stay on a course that's going to bring you less stress, more joy, more fulfillment, and help you be more intentional with the stuff that you are purchasing and bringing into your home and into your life. So to answer your question, yes, we are absolutely still pursuing minimalism, but I'm not necessarily using minimalism as a part of my branding on my channel, because I feel like it can actually, and I've learned this over the past couple of years, the idea of minimalism can really turn people off. So I've actually kind of switched that verbiage in my branding. I don't know, I haven't had any comments about it, but my little tagline under my name in my intros, it now says Natalie Bennett, cozy, simple living, because that's what I'm all about. And that's what I've always been all about. Before that, it was minimalism and motherhood. And I've pulled back on the motherhood thing as my kids have gotten older. I share less about their lives, which means I'm sharing less about my life as a mom, just because I really want to respect their privacy. So if you see them in a video, it's because they choose to be there, not because I'm making a motherhood video, if that makes sense. And then I've pulled back on the idea of minimalism as a tagline because there's so much more to minimalism than the word minimal. And I actually feel like I'm selling you guys short by just slapping that word onto things rather than sharing with you the idea that life can be simplified by using minimalism, by using the KonMari method, by using something that Dawn the Minimal Mom shares or Dana K. White of A Slob Comes Clean. So yes, I still consider myself a minimalist. I still practice family minimalism for this household. But because our life has taken on a new season, minimalism isn't necessarily on the forefront of what I'm sharing on my channel. And I think that segues us into the whole like business goals that I have. And I won't spend too much time here because I don't really like to talk shop. I'm not going to talk numbers or money goals or anything like that, but I know that a lot of you are interested in a bit of the behind the scenes. So that is something that I've been doing lately, is a subtle rebrand. And this actually started before we even found this place to move into. It's not because we moved, but I have wanted to sort of subtly transition into just sharing what my cozy, simplified life looks like. And not to make it look like it's all butterflies and roses, but to share that you can have coziness in the chaos. You can have a simplified life and still have a mess of toys on the floor. You guys, if you saw my house right now, I have little people princess toys on my windowsill, my kids' clothes on the floor. I have Xbox controllers and crap over there. I want to normalize the fact that whether you call yourself a minimalist, a maximalist, an essentialist, like whatever label you want to put on yourself or you want to put on me, we all have messes in our house. And minimalism doesn't solve your problems. I feel like minimalism can actually become like a religion for some people. So I just want to put it out there. You can literally apply these principles to any part of your life and help your life feel cozy and stable and simple. And that is the idea behind this subtle rebrand, this soft rebrand that I've been doing. This rebrand has been more so to focus my own mind and heart on the content that I'm making, but not to worry, you're still going to see the same type of videos that I've been making lately. Like my Messy to Minimal series, that's not going anywhere. Get It All Done With Me or Day in the Life videos, home improvement stuff that I do, and then of course some more homesteading content this year as we do more of that around here. Along with that subtle rebrand, I actually have something a little less subtle to share with you guys, something that I'm just so excited about, and that is the launch of my website. I am writing a blog. It's not quite ready for you guys to see yet. I actually wasn't going to announce this until it was ready, but there's another thing about people pleaser Natalie. I do not like to jump into something and tell everyone about it until I actually have something to show for it. So at this point, the only thing that I have to show for it is a link in my description box to the homepage of my website, which is nataliebennett.com, and you can sign up there for my email list so that you can see when it actually does launch. But I wanted to do this back in the fall. I was working with a web designer who was constructing my website for me. I was starting to write blog posts, turning some of my videos that I've already done into written form, taking photos, taking courses like Skillshare, learning how to do like Pinterest posts and stuff like that to be able to promote it. And then we ended up selling a house at the height of the market in the craziest time of the year, moving at back to school time, the holidays hit, stuff with my grandma happened, she ended up passing away, and I had to just put this idea on the back burner. My web designer got pregnant and has had to change her priorities moving forward and left me with the task of doing it myself. So by the time this video is up, I'm well on my way to doing that. And I just cannot wait to share with you guys all the extra content that I don't have time to put into video form, because making a video is so much work. For some people, it's really easy, and I wish it could be easier for me. I'm 8 years into doing this, and I still spend 6 to 15 hours per video that I put out, but I don't have to spend that long putting out blog posts. So if it's just little snippets here and there, little life updates, little, shopping guides or recipes or printables, I have so many ideas, and you guys can probably tell that I'm really giddy about this. I am so excited. This is something that I have wanted to do forever. So it is happening in 2022, hopefully early 2022, and you will be the first to know when it goes live when you sign up for my email list. I I've always wanted to say that. Sign up to be on my email list. Am I a real blogger now? I would love to thank you guys for all of your support as well as your patience with me on this. So I'm doing a giveaway. If you are here within the first week that this video goes live, then go down to the comments after you sign up for the email list, and let me know in the comments what you want to see on my blog. What would you love to see in written form on my blog? Recipes, printables? Do you have some other idea that I haven't shared? What do you like to see on other people's blogs? What do you don't like to see on people's blogs? Send me all the suggestions and the requests in a comment, and then put hashtag Natalie is a blogger. Maybe a couple of wink emojis too, because I don't think I'm a blogger, but I'm really excited to launch this website for you guys, and I just want to thank you all. So I'm going to send 3 of you an Amazon gift card, and that's just to say thank you so much for all of the love and for sharing in this excitement with me. I have one more goal to share with you guys, but it's a quick one, and it's I need to hire myself a personal assistant. I've never hired an editor. I've never hired a writer or someone to do my description boxes for me. I've never hired someone to do my thumbnails. I've pretty much done everything. And that's not to say, oh, look at me, you know, look at all the work that I did. I just like to do everything. Honestly, I like doing things myself. Back when I was hiring a web designer, I got a taste of what it's like to be helped and assisted. And then it really got me thinking, like, you know what I actually really need is someone to help me with content planning, to help me with emails and with brands and with the day-to-day work of doing YouTube and being a content creator and doing Instagram and all of that. Hiring on someone to help me get the content out, I think is going to be really, really helpful and a really good investment. My editing is very much a part of who I am, and so I don't know that I'm going to give that up, but we'll just see. We'll see what it turns into. This is sort of the year as I go forward where I'm just going to like hold things loosely, hold things with open arms, and I feel like kind of my mantra, like if I had to pick a word or a phrase, it's we shall see. How lame and unintentional does that sound? Like here I am trying to be really intentional with my life, and I'm like, we'll see. So we'll see when the blog goes out. We'll see if I hire someone to help me, like a personal assistant. We'll see if the house gets painted this year. Those are all goals, and as I've gotten older, I have learned to hold things a bit more loosely, and I'm a goals-oriented person, but you can get really caught up in like achieving everything and being able to, you know, tick off the checklist and feel like this sense of accomplishment. And I feel like a bigger accomplishment in life is to learn to let things go, like all of those people in my teens were telling me to do. I think maybe that might be the overarching idea for all of these things is let it go. Okay, let's all take a deep breath together. I hope you enjoyed this video, hearing me get a bit vulnerable and share with you some of my struggles that I've been going through and the goals that have been born out of those struggles, the fun things that I'm looking forward to here around the house and around our homestead, as well as the fun and exciting things around my channel and just the content that I put out for you guys. So thanks again so much for all the love. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I know it was a long video. My tea is cold. I've sipped it a few times here. It's mostly just to have something to hold so I'm not as awkward. But at any rate, thank you so much for spending a part of your day here with me on my channel. Thanks for hanging out with me. I would love to see you back here for more cozy, simple living content. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell so you don't miss future videos from me. Thanks so much for all the love, and I'll catch you later. New story to tell, new sights, new